is what.
Uh, were you just visiting the Dallas area?
No, I live here.
I was actually talking to YR.
Oh yeah, no, it's me. Yeah, I live here.
Wow.
Yeah, he used to live in Houston. Now he lives in Dallas there.
Huh.
Yep.
But
Well, you
the
do know that I live south of Fort Worth, right?
yes, yeah. This the community knows. The community, I don't mind them not knowing where I am. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
saying?
He just says it.
Brownie, ready?
Yes, I'm ready. We're live right now.
All right, here we go.
Hey, what's up, Prince?
What?
What's going on?
Not much.
All right, so welcome to today's edition of Music Maniacs. And Art, you got the Gmail that I got you. I sent last night about tonight's topic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got to definitely talk about this because now this definitely is an interesting topic because when this is actually inspired by the some of the clips that YR posted on his one of his channels, Master of Concerts, and it was performances from the Ace Frehley show he went and saw when he played Dallas not too long ago, and the comments underneath there were saying things like Ace is drinking again. What the hell is up with Ace's voice? Ace ain't what he used to be there. So,
Well, real quick,
mm-hmm.
someone's here.
Yes.
Let me tell you about last weekend, the A
Yeah,
show.
definitely. Give it a review of that
All
show
right,
there.
so I was planning on going to this for at least a month or something.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's actually right next to the venue was right next to where, kind of like the parking area for the hockey games. So very familiar with the area, which is nice. I don't really like going to new. I mean, I'll go to new venues, but it's nice going to venues, surroundings and everything. But so I bought the tickets last week, and on Ticketmaster, GA tickets, general admission, they were $50. Okay, so I was planning on getting those, but I checked around. I looked on StubHub, Dr. Brown,
Mm-hmm.
and SeatGeek, the other ones. Guess how much I got the tickets for?
Probably
And guess how
less,
much,
right? Less?
bro?
Mm.
For two tickets, the total with fees and everything, $21. So
Mm-hmm.
the price was $4 a ticket plus the fees.
All
All
right.
right.
All right.
So what happened was, so basically, got two tickets for $20. On Ticketmaster and StubHub, they do. I mean, on StubHub and the other apps, they do. They had them, $4, $5, $6, $7.
Mm-hmm.
So I got the tickets, got the barcode, everything.
Nice.
Um, Next day, I called the Eddie Trunk Show.
Nice.
Called the called the Eddie Trunk Show again, and I asked him. I said, "Hey, how much?" I mean, I said, "Hey, why are these tickets so cheap?" Blah blah blah. He basically said shows like that Ace does and certain artists, basically they're already paid. Like Ace has an asking price like 25 grand or something to do a show.
Yeah.
They have to pay. And he's already paid. And it doesn't matter how many people buy the tickets. The venue, whoever, already paid Ace's fee. And at the end of the day, they charge a very low. Basically, they're giving away tickets by, $4, right? That's what Eddie Trunk was saying. Because
Wow.
when you
Yeah.
get in the door, you spend more money, and they got like $50 out of me eventually because we got in there early. Because you pay like $30 extra, you get inside early, like an hour early. So we got in VIP, the second floor, got in there early, everything. Um, and then finally they let you go down to the stage. So you hang out, in the VIP bar area. And then finally they let the other crowd in, but it was kind of like the Judas Priest seats, Brown. Like we were, I was center stage, right in front of Ace's microphone,
I
best
see.
seats in the house. Okay,
Nice. Cool.
so started getting tight. Just a little story, that happened, but this is what happened at concerts. Basically, I'm getting to it was almost a fight was going to happen. So
Oh.
the general admission got very tight and crowded. Now this place was way smaller than the Judas Priest one. Very smaller, but very intimate show. Pretty cool. Maybe 500 people showed up because the crowd. I mean, I showed the crowd there. It's pretty packed. So got there waiting, and I mean, I just felt some guy pushing. Not really pushing me on purpose, but it's getting tight. So I felt his shoulder.
So you're getting pushed up yeah, by the
Yeah.
other crowd there. Packed like
Um,
sardines.
yeah, packed like sardines, but people aren't being like, it's not nothing like bad. But my friend who I was with took it the wrong way,
Hmm.
and he got loud, he got mad, and there was an altercation, and I was right in the middle of it, guys,
Wow.
and very awkward, very. So they were drawing back and forth, you know, how people do when they're about to fight. But in my mind, I
Yes.
knew these guys weren't about to fight because the guy who was doing, he was like an older, I don't know, 50, 60-year-old dad with his son. And I mean, my friend had every right to be mad, to be honest. But I'm just not a guy to make a big deal and make a big altercation in public like that. Because guess what happened? Security came over, okay, and said, "Hey guys, you need to stop, or you'll be thrown out." And at that point, I made myself out of the crowd. I left the best spot in that place, and I was pretty pissed, bro. I was pretty pissed. So I went upstairs. As you can see, the view,
Yes,
which
definitely.
that view is pretty damn cool above the stage, like that. That's a pretty rare view to get. So, I really wanted a guitar pick, Dr. Brown, and everything, because God knows he throws them out there,
Yes.
50 of them.
Nice.
But anyways, I took the whole videos of the whole concert. I had a fun time. But at the end of the day, I only spent, $10, not that much on tickets, so I don't feel as bad. And looking back at the video, yeah, it's similar. Look, Ace never was like the singing type. He was really never known for his vocals.
Yeah, it's true there. You gotta keep that
Is,
in mind.
is Ace staying too long for the party at this point?
Hmm.
I might have to agree with it. And I told some people in the comment sections, I'm gonna have to talk to Eddie Trunk about this.
Yeah, I remember
Um,
I read that comment just as well there
and
because,
he knew a lot of songs. I mean, look, he probably did 3 or 4 songs off the solo album, and so I'm sure you knew that song "Hard Times,"
yep.
and you knew how those songs were supposed to be played. And so, what do you think about all that? What song did you see the New York Groove? Did you see the
I
Detroit
did
Rock
see.
City?
Yes, I'm
I did see
surprised
all
he.
that. And what do you think? What's your opinion on all that?
Well, it's so well. I know. Well, I'm kind of split between the way Ace is performing on stage. I know he looked calm, cool, relaxed, but then again, so he looked pretty interesting. He looked good there, but there was another video that you sent me where he botches Detroit Rock City.
Yeah.
I saw that. I sent that to Ark not too long ago. I was like, holy cow. I'm sure you probably saw that, Ark. It's like,
Hmm.
how
Well,
could anybody could
remember,
mess that one up there?
remember a couple months ago,
Yes.
Kiss, Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, like the Kiss of Today was on
Yes, I know,
Iron
yeah.
Show. It was like, the band would be called Piss if we have the originals back. And,
Oh,
I mean, to be honest, bro, like when you and me saw Priest, Richie Faulkner, when he was hitting those notes and solos, it
yep,
was spot on. It was spot on.
absolutely.
Ace Frehley, when he was hitting the notes, it was not 100%. It was maybe 85%, 90%. He's deaf in one ear.
Wow,
So
yeah,
I
I heard
think
about that. Yeah, it's like I didn't know about that as well. So when you and keep in mind, folks, when you are
I think he's
deaf
off.
and
I
when
think he's off a half a second, like uh, You know what I'm saying? Like when he
Yeah.
goes to play, he's off. You can tell because the bass player and the guitar player are like looking at him to see what pace he's at, and he's 72. He's old, and
Yeah.
about all the drug, like the tonight's topic, like the drug stuff. Like,
Wait a minute.
What?
well, like
I'm 72.
you know what I mean, though.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
But
but
your body starts breaking down at a certain point, and your
Oh, yeah.
memory and all the drugs. Like he may be sober now, but all
Oh,
that catches up to you. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, but yeah,
look, a
keep
lot of those people in the common brown, they're like, oh, he's on drugs or he's drinking again. I don't think I don't think that's it, because you can, and I can tell when people are inebriated, and
yes.
he's able to talk, and that's just he's a character. He's a wild, weird kind of, not weird, but
Rock star.
out of yeah, he's like out of this world type deal, and he's a type of character that he talks kind of funny, and you know what I mean. I mean that's just years of partying and everything.
Yeah, it's true
Um,
there.
but you know what? Going to a concert, and this is my first. And look, people can say it's live music, blah blah blah. People mess up on stage, but not to this effect. Like when you're, maybe the guitar was out of tune when he did Detroit Rock City, because he was trying to play it, but maybe he was playing it on the wrong string. I don't know. Maybe it was out of tune. Because I try to be positive as best I can, especially going to these older groups.
Yeah.
Um, you know what I'm saying? Because it is a
Yes.
privilege to see it. It was still fun. Like I'll probably go see Ace again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like knowing that it was like not that much money. Because look, the whole thing, it wasn't like I was like the fighting drama I had to go through. Yes, that sucked.
Yeah,
But
that blew.
the songs, the classics, seeing him play "Shock Me." I mean, he nailed "Shock Me." You
That's
know what I'm
good.
saying?
Yeah.
Like I don't think people going, oh, the vocals, the vocals, the vocals. I mean, bro, he's not raspy. He's not. It's fine. You know what I mean? He's almost kind of Don Dockenish in a
Yeah,
way where
exactly.
he's speaking,
Now,
he's speaking the
let me
lyrics, you know?
intervene first. Let me intervene
Yeah,
for something about the deaf in one ear, because you got to people got to realize, who are able to still hear out of both earlobes. When you're deaf in one ear, there's going to be a little bit off in how you speak, how you play, and everything else there. Take, for example, Redneck, who was on our show a while back, actually one of our drama shows. He is deaf in one ear, so he has to resort to talking slow and talk a little more loud, so he is able to hear himself just as well. There was another someone who back in Detroit, her name is Christy. She's also deaf in one ear. She's able to talk normal, but she has to speak a lot more louder, so she's able to hear herself a lot proper than what she usually is when she hears in both ears. And you always got to remember that there are people out there who are, guess what, are deaf in one ear just as well. Ted Nugent, for example, he even said that his left ear
Yep.
is just
My
now to
my aunt my aunt Sharon, she's deaf in one ear and she speaks loud. But
yes,
luckily she can hear me because I'm always, loud and obnoxious. So she hears me loud and clear. And I
yes.
speak very loud, period.
And you always got, when
But
you're trying to play an instrument, you're gonna be, it's gonna be a bit somewhat a little bit off there, in a lot of ways. But going back to the Ace drinking, the rumors that's been sparked by this performance, and a couple others that YR sent me in the past, he's like, you gotta remember, there are going to be moments when a recovering alcoholic is going to have that need to relapse for some reason, because deep down that mental state of theirs is going to tell them, whereas the alcohol is like, you need me, you got to have me again, give me a few swigs, it won't be like it was in the back of the day, you never know.
well,
But then again, that usually is the lead way to back to another addiction issue.
well, look. So like, I was like listening to some stuff on Ace and everything this past week, and he had some girlfriend a few years ago, whatever, that was saying when like Kiss started their farewell tour, this last one here,
Mm-hmm.
um, 3 or 4 years ago, whatever.
Yes.
He started doing pills, and
Mm.
because he's depressed and everything. I don't know if you're gonna believe that woman or not, but Kiss's narrative, Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley's narrative on Ace is he's just
Mm.
a washed up
Was.
drug type guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And
And
don't
I
this,
be
got
an
my Kiss shirt on right now. I love
Right.
Kiss.
And it's
Look,
kind of funny, it fits up. It kind of fits.
so
Oh, sorry.
quick, being at the show, right? He's pretty old. He looks old, man. Like, I knew I wasn't getting, face paint or nothing. Like, I knew, you know what I'm saying? You got to do your research before you go to shows so you don't watch some videos on YouTube, all of that, so you don't get pissed off when you're there. But
Yes.
I mean, if Ace ever comes by your area, Brown, or anything,
Hmm.
to see him I'm not saying every song was horrible. I'm not saying every song was great. I mean, a few were obviously like the hard times, and I mean, is that how it's supposed to go? That Emerald song too by Thin Lizzy. Is that how it? Do you think he nailed
Well,
that or
the
no?
one, the one I remember was the Live and Dangerous version, which started with a drummer biting a downlead. It's basically like the same way, you know. But for me, the
You feel like
live version of Emerald was a lot more powerful, done by Thin Lizzy there than what Ace did.
I
I
mean,
mean,
look, it was all look at the end of the day, Brown. It was the instruments were 100. It was everything was 100% live. The backing vocals,
hmm
those famous Kiss backing vocals, 100% live, and the drummer is um is famous in his own right. I don't know if you heard about the guy. His name is Scott Coogan,
Scott
and,
Coogan. Hmm.
and his like uncle or grandpa or something created the Coogan Act
Hmm.
for children, actors and musicians or whatever to have like a um, basically like all their money doesn't get taken away. They have
That's
like a fund
good.
for them. So the Scott Coogan, he's
Jackie
like,
Coogan.
yeah, he's the Scott guy. He's a studio. What is it called? A studio drummer, or like
A
he does
session drummer, yes.
yeah, session drummer. He's really good on vocals. I mean, all the guys did the songs playing. It was a four-piece band.
Hmm.
The actual bassist plays guitar in Gene Simmons' solo band.
Oh,
Uh,
interesting.
so I find that pretty interesting. The Kiss Camp kind of shares people with their solo
Hmm.
stuff, but like Gene's cool with Ace. There's plenty of video out there where Gene is playing these private shows and everything with Ace recently.
Yeah.
Within the past 5
Yeah, they
years.
have appeared on
Uh,
stage together a couple of times in the past.
and here to be in a show and see these, like when I go to these tribute shows, they're all spot on too. It's just so to go to a concert and some of the songs not be spot on, like they're messing up, it does kind of suck. And at
Yeah.
that point, it's like if you're going to do concerts in front of people, it needs to be spot on. Now I know some people mess up because it's live. Sometimes a pedal might not be plugged in, so it's not coming out. You know what I mean? That's fine.
Yep.
But to be like literally butchering stuff,
Hmm.
um, definitely a letdown. But I would go again because it was very cheap. And most of the songs, it was pretty good. Like when the other guys are singing, and then when he
Yes.
does like Shock Me, that was great. So I would definitely recommend going. Just hit that StubHub so you don't have to pay that much. And look, plenty more concerts coming up. More to go, but this was a special one, Brown. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? I always wanted to
Yes.
see Ace Frehley. I've seen Kiss 3 times. The newer Kiss,
Yes.
and they're all tracks and lip sync and all that shit now. I
I
have
know,
no
yeah, that's I know.
uh,
We gotta talk about that sometime on that episode there.
very, very special to have those videos forever. And at the end of the day, people get old and people start slowing down, and it is what it is. But there's a lot of people that are just negative on these comment sections. It's like, eat Cheetos, stay at home. I'll be at the concert. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Like, y'all can stay at home since y'all don't want to go. That's fine. Y'all can complain, but I'll be at the show and I'll let you know if it's good or not.
I
You
think,
know what I'm saying?
but then again, though, let's keep in mind that these are the same people that picked on Vince Neil when he was having that weight issue a few years
Yeah.
before that stadium tour was announced with Motley Crue and Def Leppard. Because you may remember Vince Neil looked way heavy when he walked on stage during that time doing his solo stuff there. And people are coming up with memes like a shout at the devil's food cake or grills,
Okay.
grills, grills, But
But
then again,
Art,
they did the same thing to Axl Rose. They were like, "Oh, take me down to Pancake City."
And that's one I wouldn't. Like I would like to see Motley Crue and Vince Neil, but I don't think I would waste money or go to Guns N' Roses at this point, 2023. A lot of their tickets they're not selling. I mean, that's pretty horrible. That's being staying too long at the party.
Yeah, that's true
Axl
there.
Rose. It really is.
There's still. I think it's time they should make a new studio album, for crying out loud.
I mean, seeing Slash is cool, but I mean that they said they're coming out with a new song. I don't know if it came out, but they were saying last week like a new song's about to drop from GNR.
A lot more new songs because it's been way overdue, and we're not counting that album Chinese Democracy because that was an Axl Rose solo record from start to finish.
Well, look, I asked Prince. I said, "Hey, do you want to go?" I didn't say who, but I said, "Did you want to go?" And Prince, next time Ace comes around, we should go together because very cheap, Prince.
I know. I'm all over the place these days, man.
No, I know it's all good. You're all good.
I got a question, if you don't mind me asking.
It was very
Where
fun.
is Keith the barber? I miss him. I miss my buddy.
He's living life. I think he's on a bowling league or something. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know when people like find something to do and they just like focus in on that and they're all about that, which is fine. You know what I'm saying? This community didn't like Keith anyway, and I mean he took the brunt of the lot.
You gotta have tough skin to be in this community. Look at me
That's
now.
true, yeah.
I'm not like I'm the most hated, but I'm still motherfucking standing.
Take a look
Yeah.
at Tommy. Tommy in
Anyone
2010. Man, people used to come at him left or right. You may remember there. Remember how
Anyone
they
hates
came
on
after Bullfrog?
If anyone hates on you, Prince, they're racist. But Ark, what do you think about the Ace thing? You think that was the debacle?
No. All things considered, it was fine.
Yeah, it is what I mean. I had fun. Except for the altercation with my friend and everything. I just hate that type of shit. I hate, like, it is what it is. When I know I'm going to a GA crowd, I know it's going to be tight. But to scream and yell and, like, oh, get all tough to fight, it's like, come on. Jesus, guys, can we? But I removed myself from the situation. I did the right thing. It had nothing to do with me, but I could have fucking chimed in. I could have been an ass to the guy, or but
It's been a while since I've been that way. Is it still the American Airlines
yes.
stadium?
This place was next to it. This was like a little. This place was actually in the same parking lot right next door to the Mavericks training facility. So it was on that other side of the freeway. But it was a small. Probably 500 people showed up.
Well, back in the day, I attended a few concerts at American Airlines. I don't know, what do they call it? American Airlines, whatever
Center,
it is.
American Airlines Center, yeah. And then it used to be Reunion Arena. They used to have the other Reunion Arena.
Years ago, I saw Eric Clapton there.
Yeah. There's a lot of venues. There's like the big ones, like the arenas, but then they have like a ton of these, music halls, like these smaller lounge type things.
Yeah.
Live Nation owns most of these places. Live Nation company. So, but Ace Frehley, brother. I will be talking to Eddie Trunk about the situation because they're best friends, and everything. So, it was fun, and it is what it is. And look, Brown, what do you think about that Hard Time song? Like him doing his solo stuff. I think that was pretty cool. Him doing his solo album stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yes. Anytime someone from the Kiss camp goes solo, they're going to definitely most do their solo record that they did back in '78. I remember when I saw Paul Stanley at the Ritz in Roseville in '88. He pulled a couple of two songs from his solo record. I remember one song. What's it called? No, it's not that. I forgot the title of it, but I remember it's started out with a couple of vocals, just sheer vocals. I gotta look it up there, but definitely gotta check out that song there. But address the people criticizing someone how they're performing.
You want to read some of that, Brown?
Yeah,
Brian, you want to read some of those comments?
Yeah, well, actually, let me go to the let me go to the your page here, Master Concerts, and let me see what we got here. Blah blah blah. Let me go up.
Brian, you had to use a new thumbnail because the other one didn't work. The Whitney Houston.
Well, actually, the one I have here is kind of one I'm using right now. It kind of fits the description of the topic that we're discussing, and this is kind of a lesson to the kids out there that will watch this show later on, and gives them an idea, a good reason why to get not to do
Yeah.
drugs. And basically, as you know, I am anti-drug to the absolute core. There, I have yet to even smoke a cigarette, let alone a joint. You know, there were a couple of times I just had a little beer here and there, and that was about it. But I haven't had one in God knows how long. You know. Okay.
How's the club scene out in Florida? How's that going?
Hold on. Let me turn down the volume up here. Actually, I haven't been to the castle in about a couple of weeks. I've been taking a couple of weeks off of that there because.
How's the women out there? Because I know the women out there. Woo!
Oh, there definitely there
Yeah.
are some pretty gals up there, pretty women.
Yes,
That's
they
for sure
are, man.
there.
I know.
Yes. All right, there. Okay, I'm going to read a couple of. I got this one here. It says, "This is when he does the song Deuce." Rumor has it, writes one comment. Rumor has it that he dedicated Paul and changed it to douche. Oh, shit. All right. Okay, and let me find the other one where he go off on him there. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so here's what we got here. No comments on this one here. I'm trying to find the exact one here. It's been a while. Okay. Here's one. Love how Ace hates those money-hungry ex-bandmates. Nice job by the lead vocalist singing in Paul Stanley's key. They're talking about the bass player doing Detroit Rock City. And singer sounds more like Paul Stanley than Paul Stanley. And another said, Ace and Peter are my favorite original members of Kiss. So they're giving the singer...
Who's your favorite? Who's y'all's favorite member? Who's y'all's favorite member of Kiss?
Oh, obviously Gene Simmons, because of the persona, the demon, the bass guitar he has, the axe bass guitar he used to play. He still plays occasionally there. But let me also...
Real quick, I saw this thing, someone commented, they were like, Gene Simmons sells Kiss, Paul Stanley, or Peter Criss loves Kiss, Ace Frehley is Kiss, and Paul Stanley is something else. Like, Ace Frehley is your quintessential
Kiss
the
memory.
rock star
Yes,
star
he was.
lifestyle. You know? But go ahead, guys.
Yeah, but also, let's not forget an interview that Kiss did with Tom Snyder
Paul Stanley, a.k.a. Star Child in Kiss. He's brilliant. He's brilliant. I love his singing. I love his theatrical performance. I love him in the face paint. I love him without the face paint. He is a genius. I love him.
Well, what do you
He's
think?
just an ass. Like Brown, I don't like bands beefing like that. Like look at Molly Crew with Mick Mars. Like I don't like that shit. I don't like that.
Yeah, but
I don't like that.
But then again, what can we do about it? There's gonna be issues rising up, between band members, and that's how it is at times.
Well, guys, if you think about it,
they're so old.
They've been beefing for a long time. Motley Crue's always been beefing with each other. 1 minute it's Tommy Lee going against Vince, or Vince going against Nikki, or Nikki going against Mars going against Tommy going against Nikki. It's always been like that with those guys. They never really,
But when you're old,
they never really had chemistry. They were just put together, but they never really had chemistry because one guy with Mars Mirror, if you think about it, he's old and he's with three other young guys, Nikki Sixx, Tommy Lee, and Vince. They're the young guys, and Mars Mirror, he's just an older guy who's playing lead guitar with basically children.
Wait, you mean Mick Mars, not Mars Mirror. Dude. Mick Mars. Yeah, he's in the 72s, yes. Yeah, Mars is in the 70s, too.
Nah, but look, they when you're in your 70s, no offense to Ark when I bring this up, the age thing, but when you're older like that, you should not be beefing like that. Like it's time to like this Van Halen thing. Like Alex
Yeah.
Van Halen's pissed off at Sammy, and they're not going to do this, reunion thing. Like there's rumors they're going to do this Van Halen Eddie Van Halen tribute, kind of like the Taylor Hawkins thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, wouldn't that be
Yes.
great if it's not like, bro, and just the Van
It would have
Halen
been
camp?
nice, yeah, definitely, yeah. But unfortunately, Alex is on the he's probably one of those stubborn guys that just wants to stick to his guns, like the same way Vinnie Paul did when he came
Yeah.
to Phil Asamo. Vinnie Paul died without burying the hatchet with Phil. So
It
that's
happens.
kind of sad, yeah. And let's take a look at two other guys that have been beefing for ages. David Gilmour, Roger Waters from Pink Floyd. They still don't see eye to eye. They still
big-
No, they
occasionally
don't.
beef with one another.
That's the big one. And you know how much money they would make if those two got together under the Pink Floyd banner and toured? Like
Yes,
Led
exactly. Him, those two, along with Nick Mason, they now it's the time to finally put that bullshit aside and tour again. It's Pink Floyd, for crying out loud.
Brown is
Say, for example, Brown, if we were a band,
Yeah.
say Earl being our drummer, me being the bassist, YR being the lead, Earl you being the singer, are you going to hold a grudge against YR
No,
over some silly stuff?
No, that grudge died long time ago. That that is done. I no longer hold any grudges. The only person I'm still kind of pissed off is, of course, that idiot who lives in Minnesota. Well, I'm sure you probably saw. He probably saw the video I uploaded on him with the way he went off on YR and RP, like
yes. Brown does.
To be honest, I can't forgive him because he proved, without a shadow of a doubt, how he
What an
felt about
asshole.
me.
Yep.
And he claims that he wasn't racist, but look how he spoke to me, guys.
Called you an N. Called you an N.
He
he
called
said
RP.
he-
He did the same
He
thing
did-
with
and then
YR.
came out
And
and did it again.
Dr. Brown, real quick. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. So does Robert Plant have beef with any of the Led Zeppelin members? Like, what's
Not
stopping
that I
him?
know of. Not that I know of. Because him and Paige were always cool with one another, with everything else. But however,
I mean, look at. Speaking of that, like, look who announced today that they're pretty much they're reuniting on a cruise.
Mhm.
It's like it's the summer of '99 cruise, and the band is Creed, so that means they're eventually going to do U.S. shows, probably
That's
in
good.
2024.
That's
But
good.
they are reuniting, confirmed on this cruise, this rock cruise. And look at their beefs.
Yeah.
Like when these bands reunite after 10 years or whatever, it's huge. Like, y'all might not be the biggest Creed fans, but I'm not a flip-flopper. I was big into Creed when they're, you know how much records they sold? Like Diamond
a
Records.
lot of them. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So they were popular at the time, and a ton of songs. There's a ton of songs. I love bands that have a handful of songs, not just one or two that are, not Creed has a ton, and they're coming back, and that's what it's all about. Like, why do these people have to be, like Kiss, you know how big it would be if Ace and Peter can come back? But look, I mean, I don't know. Do you think if Ace, looking at the videos you saw, you think Ace would be able to do a full reunion with Kiss? How he's playing now and stuff? I don't think so.
Yeah, true.
I witnessed it. I don't think because at the Kiss tours they're going up on these levitating devices,
Yep.
and they're doing a lot on stage, the fire, and
Yep.
this Ace show is very stripped down. So like, I don't think before seeing him and all this, I was like, yeah, man, Paul Stanley's an asshole for that. Like, but at the end of the day, like, I don't know, bro. He can do a full set. He did, the 14, 15 songs.
Well, let me
obviously.
throw this in there. You also got to, when you look at Ace nowadays, he's a lot more heavier than he was back in the day. So they'll probably have to come up with a new spacesuit to fit his current body structure.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Did you
Yes,
see
I
his
noticed.
body?
Yes, I have. I seen those for a long while there. The same thing
But
with
look-
Axl Rose.
Brown, seeing the smoking guitar and the flashing
Yes,
guitar
that's
in
classic.
person like that. That was cool. That was cool seeing that in person. That's what it's all about.
Yeah,
The nostalgia, the respect to the people for these songs. I mean, it was magical, but I know I'm not seeing Frehley's Comet in the 80s. I'm not seeing a lot. It's you have to go. You have to have a different mindset when you're seeing older groups. There's a lot of older groups that are spot on too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. There's a lot out there that
Priest.
sound great, but
Priest, they were
Priest, like a
spot
lot.
on, way spot on. Metallica, they're in their 50s and they're still spot on.
When you have bands like, yeah, I mean, there's a ton that tour and that are great. You know what I'm saying? Stephen Piercy of Rat sounds
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Still,
How old
that's
is he?
one I would like to see.
How old is he? In his 60s, I believe it is.
He is. He's
And
you
still
know,
fit and
Rat,
trim. Credit to him for doing that.
and he is beefing with Ron Crucier right now.
Oh,
That is
real.
confirmed.
Oh wow.
Yes, they are not on good terms at all.
It
At
fits.
all.
You know what? It fits to say that Rat, in general, will probably be one of the greatest rock and roll soap operas out there. Knowing the issue with this member, the issue with that ex-member, for the issue with this member, the legal hassles over the name that occurred a couple years ago. There, it's like, man, you could put, if there was a reality show based on the dramas with that band, the ratings would be through the roof.
And that was our music news, by the way, the Creed thing. What do you
Yeah.
think about that, Brown?
It'd
This Creed reunion. I
and
mean,
that's
because we
good.
know
It was
that the band was
Being
Alter
massively
Bridge.
big. Yeah. Later become
They're-
Alter Bridge after Scott Stapp, after that group broke apart there.
Oh, you're supposed to read the comments, did you?
Oh, I did. I tried to find them, but however, I do.
Here, I'll send you a screenshot.
Yeah, go ahead there. Now, let me say this. The people who have been whining on, as I say, about Ace Frehley's vocal performance, the same ones who picked on Vince Neil for his weight issues, and the people who picked on, this rock star for not looking the same as he used to, these are the people who kind of expect the rock star to be its peak at all times. You get this public perception that goes on. You see all the magazines, you see all the old videos, then you finally get to see the band live, and they're like, whoa, what just happened here? It ain't what it used to be.
I know what that is. They think how they saw them back when they first came out is how they're supposed to look all year round.
Yeah, it's true.
And they get old. They get old.
Yeah, exactly. You got to remember.
The appearance, the appearance of them may look old, but the sound of them will always stay the same. People have to understand that the sound will always be the same, but the look will always phase out. Don't be so hung up on how they look. Just honor that they kept their voice in good shape and they can still go. I'm not worried if Vince Neil is fat, skinny, ugly, bald, not bald.
Yes.
I don't care. As long as he can hit those notes, I'm there. I'm buying a ticket. If I can hear the vocal range of Vince Neil, that's all that matters. I'm not worried
It's still
about
there.
fat.
It's still. I mean, I don't want to say it's still there, but you can tell it's Vince Neil singing for Motley Crue
Exactly.
nowadays.
Yes.
That's the most
it's still
important
there.
part.
He still got it. You can hear it in his voice. Same with Axl Rose. He may not look the same, but he still sounds the same.
Yeah, that is true there.
Same thing
Very
with Sebastian
true.
Bach. He makes. Oh, actually, Sebastian Bach does look the same. Wow, it's impressive. That shit's crazy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but
you know
then
what I
again,
mean?
he was
sounds the
alcoholic.
same, but he definitely looks the same.
Yeah, but let's.
That's crazy. Sebastian might be the one that's-
Sebastian's a lot more heavier than he was back in the day, just as well.
Yes.
And who's calling me now?
But Sebastian looks the same in the face.
Wait a minute,
He's still-
Jacob RP is calling me.
Well, I mean, these people in the comment sections are writing paragraphs. They're very passionate about this Ace thing. I sent you three screenshots.
Wait,
I mean, look, there's people that are saying, like, there are only tickets left. Because, look, there's some parts, like Pennsylvania shows, like the Upper North shows,
Yes.
that the only tickets are like 150, 200. So
Wire,
I'm
see if
telling
you can-
them.
Hold on a second, Mike. See if you can add Jacob RP to the call. He was just calling me not too long ago.
All right.
Right there. 'Cause
Um,
I'm reading him right now. Yeah. I know. I remember one comment said, "Was kind of psyched to see this field." Then I heard the vocals. What happened? Double question mark.
well, like I'm telling people, like, because there's a couple people that are like the only tickets left, or a couple hundred. I'm like, go on StubHub. Trust me, they're giving them away basically.
Yo!
Jacob, what's up, man?
What's going on,
Prince is
RP?
here. Prince is here. Not that guy. Come on.
Ah, please.
Whoa, 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 dude! This is my show. This is
What's
my
up,
show. Let
Dr.
It's
me
up.
Brown?
go.
What's up,
What's up? What's
Bernard?
up, Jacob? What's up, dude?
What are you guys talking about?
We're
This is
talking.
Prince's show. Be respectful.
We're
What
talking
we're talking
about.
about?
We're talking about the Ace Frehley show that YR saw not too long ago, and we're going to be talking about rock stars with drug addiction issues, whether they recovered or they haven't. And there's a huge list. Art can name some few. I can name some few. YR and Prince can name some few as well.
Why are?
Yeah, you okay, brother?
Want to laugh today?
Who can Brown? Who can forget about Nikki Sixx
No.
drug dose addiction? That was wild. He almost
Oh
died.
yeah, exactly. Yes, we all know that story. I mean, even the Super
Yeah, we'll
Ugly
go
show
live
was
after
talking
this.
about it. Yeah. Definitely, Nick. I remember that's probably a legendary as it is because Nikki Sixx had this massive heroin addiction back in the '80s there, to
Where
which
they
he
made a song,
died.
"Can't Stop My Heart," because his drug addiction. They made a song about it. Can't stop my heart.
Yeah,
Whoa,
that's what
yeah.
inspired that song. I thought for those who may not remember or do not know about this,
Prince, you know that song?
I love Motley Crue.
everyone knows that song, man.
It is pretty
I
cool.
love Motley Crue.
Yes.
Prince, we gotta go to a show together, bro. We gotta go to.
Dude, if we go do a show together, we're definitely going to fucking Motley Crue. I don't care what you say. We're going to fucking
Yes.
Motley Crue.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know why we're going to Motley Crue? Because Tommy Lee gets girls showing their tops and everything, and that's going to be awesome.
Yes. Tatas.
Tata's. Earl, you can come too.
All right.
And
Derek.
Arknolia.
All right.
We're all going to go. See
Earl,
Motley
would
Crue.
you go? Earl, would you go to the Ace Frehley show?
I would
Hell
check.
yeah, Earl.
I would check it out definitely if the
The price is low.
all right
Yeah.
if he ever came up, I
That's
would definitely
the thing
check it
to
out.
understand. Hold on, let me speak for Earl and
Yes.
Arknolia and Earl. These guys are heavy metal rockers. If a band's in town close by, trust and believe, they're going. They're going. These
That's
guys
true.
live and breathe rock and roll.
Like, there's probably
Yeah.
other like famous
Never
people. There's
YR.
probably other famous people that like came to meet Ace, like hang out with him behind the scenes. Like, I think a lot of people do that. Like musicians, when they come in certain cities, there might be musicians that live in those cities, like other bands that come and like hang out with them at the club afterwards. I mean, look, I could have bought a laminate pass. I mean, at the time online it was 500, but it might have been cheaper at the show to go backstage after the show, which I might do next year or something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like to meet them and everything. But Dr. Brown,
Yes.
it does suck that nowadays, these stars are getting older, man. And, if you have the chance to see them, no matter if they're bad or good, I think you should see them.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
That's good. Yeah. Definitely. All right, definitely. So let's get on to the main subject, drugs. It's no secret that Ace Frehley had a lot of alcohol issues in the past. And so that's going to obviously, with the way he's performing as of late, people have been questioning, is he drinking again or not? But then again, when you have a reputation as a big drinker, the first few botches you're going to make on stage, people's going to leave speculation. Look at Jeff Hardy in his last run with the WWE. It's no secret he had a lot of drug issues back then. And we have messed up when he botched up during a house show. People are assuming, oh, he's back on the drugs again. Got to keep in mind, that reputation is going to stick with you like glue as a recovering alcoholic or a recovering drug addict, That's how the public is, Public can be really harsh on someone when they make a mistake,
Yeah.
But we want to talk about musicians that have had issues with drug,
Like
Nikki
like, for
Sixx we were
example,
talking about, yeah.
Steven Tyler had a bad drug addiction from
Yes.
Aerosmith.
Yeah, he was
He
on heroin
stopped-
just as well. Ozzy Osbourne, his main drug was mostly alcohol. It's no secret that he's had issues with the bottle left and right. He had alcohol. He had alcohol in the system when he bit the head off of that dove during that record executive meeting back in 1980. And it's no secret.
Bass player who also was a reason why his pancreas exploded is because he drank a lot, and that's Dove McKagan from Guns N' Roses. Remember, his pancreas exploded because he kept on drinking so much
Wow.
alcohol.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. I never knew about that until now. Wow. Slash had a drug problem. I don't
Yes,
know
he
if
did.
actually.
Slash almost died the same way as Nikki Sixx. He died in a hotel elevator, and they had to call a paramedic, but luckily he survived it.
Yeah.
So
Yes, you
it's
got
a
to
lot of
remember, we got to talk. Yeah,
it's crazy.
definitely. Nikki Sixx.
Back then, if you think about it, back then they were all taking a lot of fucking heroin. The
Yeah.
heroin was the strongest drug back then.
Yeah, exactly.
Now,
And here,
recently, the strongest drug to take, I don't take it, I just know, is fentanyl. People getting high off fentanyl.
yeah, that's true. That's true. There. Remember the fentanyl challenge that was on TikTok? That for a
Oh
short
my
while there.
God, that
I
was crazy.
reported. I did a video on that. Some kid was taking how many loads of fentanyl so he could see how zoned out he could get, and he ended up on the ventilator for a couple of days
And
before
speaking
passing
of rock
away.
stars that died from fentanyl, Prince died from fentanyl overdose.
Yeah, I heard about that as well. He had some sort of hip surgery, and he was taking that to ease the pain. And next thing you know, boom! That just boomed. The
Because it will
quantity of
kill you.
pills he was taking just got
It's a
bigger.
high dose drug. It's a high dose drug.
Yeah. You,
Also, Michael Jackson, pop star, king of pop, died from fentanyl.
yes. Now, why was he taking fentanyl? Is anybody's guess at this point? Why? What was the deal with him?
He had pain in his joints from doing all those dance moves. His
Mm.
joints were messed up,
Oh wow. No.
so it kind of like numbed the pain. Same with Prince, his hip kind of numbed the pain. But taking those type of drugs like on a daily it will fuck you up to where it can kill you.
Wow, that's true. There. You got to remember that when people take so much of a certain thing, it's going to catch up to them sooner or later. Because you remember,
Even wrestlers,
what again?
they
Even
always
who?
overdose on painkillers
Yeah.
because they're so messed up.
Yeah, and you also got to remember that they could turn those pills they can do something to your liver there. They can make your liver hard like alcohol can. And when your liver goes hard like that, you're definitely a goner. That's for sure.
For real.
Yes. John Bonham. Now he was not exactly an alcoholic, but he was a beer drinker. There were a lot of stories of him, drinking a lot before he went on shows and everything else. Still played with like he was sober. Played
Dr.
tip-top
Brown,
shape. Yes. Go ahead.
is that true that Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley, they never did alcohol or drugs? Is that true?
That I guess that is true because we have yet to see those two in any rehab, let alone any drug treatment centers. It's even said that everyone was drinking during the photo shoot for Rock and Roll Over. No, not Rock and Roll Over, Hotter Than Hell. The photo shoot for the cover of that album was like a big party, big orgy, and everything else. Everyone was drinking. I guess Paul was for a while there, but everyone except Gene. They even stated Gene doesn't drink. But he was getting, but his high on was all those half naked chicks they were
Listen,
posing
bro,
with.
like drinking something at a concert, alcoholic, definitely does change your experience. Now, drinking too much,
Yep.
it gets negative. But if you can do a couple drinks and start feeling good, start singing the song. Because when you start hearing me sing the songs in the video, I'm drinking on something, and I'm feeling good.
Yep.
And it does change the experience, bro. Like sometimes people just and like I've been guilty of this, just standing there like a log. But I'm in awe a lot of these times. I like seeing when I see live music being played and recreated. It really makes my jaw drop. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if
Yes.
I have some type of autism that makes me like really in tune and like really into like the autism thing, Brown, like when you're like Keith going to the video game thing all the time, like he's stuck on that. He's like enthralled in that. That's kind of like how I am at the concerts. Like I'm like, I don't know. Do you think I have autism?
No,
Because
I
I'm
don't think. I
so
don't think.
enthralled in.
No, but that's the movement of the music, getting to you. It happens to
Yeah.
everybody else.
That's what it's all about. It's the best.
Yeah, it is.
It really is, bro. Like, look, wrestlers, they did the steroids. Rock stars, they did the drugs and alcohol.
Hmm.
I mean, so did wrestlers too, similar lifestyles.
Oh yeah.
But look, when this music was in the 70s, the Kiss or, whether the 80s with other groups. It's a long time ago, 40,
Mhm.
50 years ago. And we're talking about these people are doing stuff now, shows now. That is pretty cool. And it's hard being up there on stage. It's hot, traveling and stuff. Like, you got to keep that in mind. It's hard on the body, like Prince was saying earlier. What's the Tucker Brown? What was the? I mean, look at Ozzy. We're gonna bring him up.
Yeah, we gotta definitely bring
I mean,
up
look at that
because
guy.
his battle with the bottle was definitely legendary. As we had mentioned, he was drunk. He had alcohol in the system when he bit the head off of that dove during that record executive meeting back in 1980. He was
Hey,
drunk when he almost killed his wife and manager Sharon
think about
Osbourne in '88.
Try to
Go ahead.
kill her.
Yeah,
another
he did. Yeah.
legendary rock star that actually died from doing so much drugs. Look at the lead singer of the Doors, Jim Morrison. He died from doing it.
So did Jimi
So
Hendrix.
he was
He
only
died of
27.
drugs. Heroin killed Janis Joplin, all
Yeah.
at the age of 27. That started the 27 Club.
Jimi
Other-
Hendrix, we don't even know if he died from a drug overdose. I think he was murdered. I think he was murdered.
Really?
I think Hendrix was murdered.
Mhm.
I don't think he died from a normal drug dose because he really barely took drugs like that.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
And he had problems with his manager, so I think his manager killed him for the money.
Yeah, but then again, well, you may be able to contact conspiracy theorists about that one. We just know that we've seen many people die from drug addictions, as you know. Whitney Houston, who's on my thumbnail, she got involved with Bobby Brown, the excellent member of New Edition. Look what happened to her after a couple of years. He was he was doing drugs. She ended up doing drugs just as well. She had to get away from him years on down the line. She had to break off her marriage with the guy because she had to get herself clean
And
again.
Rick James,
But it was hard.
James, what happened to James.
What again, Prince? Can you hear?
Rick James, who was
Yeah.
really a stoner.
Yeah,
Rick
he
James.
was. Yeah, he was an addict
He was
just
a-
as well. Him and his girlfriend at the time, they did kidnap some woman, burn her with a crack pipe, tortured her while they was both high on that shit there. And they both went to prison for a good number of years for that. Ike Turner, the ex-husband of the late Tina Turner, he's
You know
also
when
deceased.
he
He
went
was
to
an
jail-
addict in his own right.
You know, Rick's bunkmate when he was in jail. True story. True story. When he went to jail, guess who was in there with him as a bunkmate? Steven
Who?
Tyler.
Oh wow.
What?
Yeah.
With
He
What?
met
who?
Steven Tyler. Yeah, he met Steven Tyler. He was in jail with James.
Well, this was
now that-
look. We got to
Tucker
look it
Brown.
up on the internet. Let's look it up there because I never knew about. I never knew about this one because that incident happened in 1991 there.
Rick James said it. He actually met Steven Tyler in jail.
Now that's a concert coming up that is pretty damn pricey, and
No
What,
surprise.
Aerosmith?
yeah, it's like they're trying
It's
to
their
do like
last go around, so they say.
they're
Well,
trying to do like $300.
I can't find it on the internet here, but it does says here in Rolling Stone, Steven Tyler sued for sexual assault of a minor, and that was published last December.
What?
Oh, let me read it. Let me look it for you now. Give it a couple minutes here. I just now find out about this myself. I don't really pay
Yeah, it's old
attention.
news.
Yeah, it's
It's
actually
old
yeah,
news.
yeah,
But it's similar to the Marilyn Manson stuff where
yes.
it's all this heat and then nothing happened with that Marilyn Manson thing because it probably wasn't true.
Who knows? We do not know. We just know that he's got to get a new record label right now because of what he was on, which name I forgot. They dropped him in a heartbeat there. But we got to definitely talk about, going
Did
back
you
to.
find it?
No,
Did you
not
find
yet.
Rick James and
Steven
Steven
Tyler.
Tyler?
I tried to find Steven Tyler in jail in 1991, but I couldn't find it.
Oh
That's
no,
where
no,
I
you gotta
found
put
it.
in Rick James, Steven Tyler, bunkmates in jail.
Mm.
They actually did like a little cartoon about it. They actually did like a whole story. Because the first time Rick went to jail, he met Steven Tyler for the same situation. It was
Well,
from a
what
drug
year
addiction.
was this?
Think I'm not
What did they
sure,
get?
but there's
What
a
did they get in
cartoon.
trouble for? Prince, what did they get in trouble for?
Drugs, drug overdose. They were both in rehab. My bad, rehab together. It's the same.
Oh, thank goodness. I see there. I see. And the only thing I've been looking up is Tales of the Tour Bus, the insane story of Rick
Put in
James. These are
rehab. Put
YouTube.
in rehab. That's what it is. They went to rehab.
Hmm. Okay, let's see what we got. And let's see. The craziest story is about Rick James. The 12 most Rick
That's
James
it.
moments.
That's it. That's it. That's where I
Okay.
found it.
Yes,
Crazy story of Rick James.
yes, they became buddies during various stays at rehab.
Yes. That's you
There
found
we
it.
go. All right. I see what your point
Rehab.
is, because I didn't know about this until now. In fact, even jump on.
It was crazy when I read about that. When I saw that, it was crazy. I was like, "What? He was in rehab with Steven Tyler?"
Now can't imagine this: Steven Tyler jumping on Rick James's back for piggyback rides.
What?
So that's what the article says. Yeah. All right, there. Now,
Okay.
but let's go back to Whitney Houston. He was a bright voice. She had a hit after hit after hit. She later gets involved with Bobby Brown, the ex-member of New Edition, who was at the peak of his solo career. But he had a reputation for being a bad boy with this female, that female. God knows how many kids he had out of wedlock with some of these chicks. But he was also doing a lot of excess things there, a few drugs. Whitney Houston marries Bobby Brown so she could make herself more hood. Because you remember, prior to that, she was booed off the Soul Train Music Awards for sounding too white. Remember, her earlier hits were mostly pop hits on the pop radio. Like Greatest Love of All, I'm Gonna Dance with Somebody. Those are basic pop hits. And at that time, black activists and rappers like KRS-One, Public Enemy, Scooty D were talking about, black power, black awareness, black culture, black awareness. And to see this black female performing pop hits for a white crowd, written by a pop crowd, produced by pop people, white producers and all that stuff there, that's going to seem like on the sellout mode there. Sell out your culture to make the big bucks. So that explains why she got booed off like she did during the Soul Train Music Awards. And that hurt her, obviously, and I guess she probably got involved with Bobby Brown so she could see more down to earth, more thug, more hood, but that turned out to be a mistake on its own. I've always questioned that marriage from the moment it started, because there were so many stories of Bobby Brown cheating on her behind her back and this and that, having this kid out of wedlock with another female he apparently got involved in, and then next thing you know, there's all these stories in circulation of Whitney Houston being on drugs. There was a couple photos taken inside of her bathroom by some photographer from the National Choir. The thumbnail I'm using right now was taken somewhere. That was revealed on the National Choir. And as you can see, that is not a pretty sight to look at. That's for shizzle. Now, she finally got off the drugs, apparently, for a while there. But apparently she was missing some performances. She was missing this scheduled date with this record label, with that performance there. She this is after she got rid of Bobby Brown to save herself. And apparently now in February 2012, she was found dead in a bathtub. Apparently she had a lot of drugs in her system. Wouldn't it fit to say that Whitney Houston made the wrong idea of getting involved with Bobby Brown? I think it was. Because like I stated, it was a big mistake for her to get involved with this guy. Because just there was something about the guy that spelled trouble from top to bottom. And now as a result, she's no longer with us. As I stated, she passed in 2012. A couple others had died from heroin. Shannon Hoon of Blind Melon, that alternative band. The singer, you may remember, made a couple appearances when the Don't Cry video by Guns N' Roses. He was on heroin.
Yeah, this just Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Brown.
Yes, I'm hearing it.
Piercy talking about the rat beef right now, live.
Got to hear this.
Quick.
Yeah, turn it up, dude. Yes.
Why? I'm not complaining. It'd be great if there was fucking, I could look over there and there's Warren kicking some ass, or, but without Robin, I don't get it anymore. I finally shut the door, I had to, and people go, yeah, well, whatever, you suck anyway. Well, fuck you, it is what it is, be it what it is, what it was. I'm happy with it. I'm very, come on now. This is
basically he's saying without Warren, he's not it. It's not Rat.
Yeah, that's true.
And he's not going to call it Rat. It will be Stephen Piercy of Rat. He's not going to label it as Rat to sell, which is good. That's commendable. It's respectful.
Yeah, it's good there. Yeah.
Those things that have the two LA guns. There's like two different versions, and they call themselves.
Yes.
And that's ridiculous. I think that's, come on.
Well,
it's
one LA Guns now. I guess Tracy Guns and Phil Lewis patched their issues up with one another. And I guess for a while it's LA Guns with Tracy Guns and Phil Lewis for a short while there. I guess those two are on good terms with one another once again there.
Yes.
All right, there. I was going to mention this other individual that died from heroin use, Dwayne Rudolph Gautel, the keyboardist and programmer from the industrial group Skinny Puppy. Now that one kind of pissed me off, because a couple years ago it was detailed that their frontman, Nivek Ogre, had issues with heroin. He finally got clean in late 1991 and early 1992. He finally kicked that habit and realized it was going to kill him. And after seeing your singer go through the issues that he was having with the big evil H, would it have been wise to keep off the stuff yourself? But then again, he may have started heroin while Ogre was still doing his smack there, and just didn't take the time to either, to get clean himself, or there was too much issues with the band for him to stop. He needed some sort of comfort. Many people, guys, also keep in mind that many musicians grow up in troublesome childhoods, and they have to have something to keep themselves leveled. Plus all the pressure that's laid upon them by management and record labels to sell more, sell more, sell more. I mean, take a look at Steve Clark from Def Leppard, who died in 1991 prior to the first Gulf War setting foot. He was having alcohol issues left and right. He couldn't stop drinking. And part of the issues that that brought on that particular issue, was the pressure from the record label to outdo Hysteria, which was selling like hotcakes from 87, 88. That album was massively big. Massively big. I mean, like hit after hit after hit, and Clark was like, how are we going to top this one there? If we put out a record that sells half, we'll be looked on as failures. And that's going to cause a lot of pressure. Lots of pressure. You put out, like, say, and there's a good chance he could be dropped from the record label because of that failure. Like, for example, you have a hit record, next year I have another hit record, then the fourth record becomes a flop for some reason. What does your record label do? They drop you.
Not to interrupt you, Brown. Sorry to interrupt. Don't forget AEW Wrestling's on tonight. Don't forget AEW Wrestling.
That's good.
I don't know if you want to watch or not.
Not really interested. Not really. I don't really watch wrestling no more. It's not my thing.
How are you going to sit there and say that when we do Wrestling Maniacs?
Yeah, but also, but then again, you gotta...
That sounds crazy, man. Don't say something like that when you're doing a wrestling show.
Well, we often discuss, stories about... I pay more attention to the behind-the-scenes, stories of wrestling, like, say, the Dark Side of the Ring programs, yes. And also the podcast that Roddy Piper did with Vince Russo. You gotta check that out sometime. That's very, that's really interesting.
I'm going to save you on that one, Earl. Don't ever say you're going to watch wrestling when you do a wrestling podcast, because then people would say, "Oh, Earl's a hypocrite." You know, you don't want to do that.
Well, all right. So, Ark, I know you have some stories to tell of this drug use within this band, this member there. We haven't heard you talk in a while, and now it's allow you to have the floor.
Well, there was Vincent Furnier who had a huge drinking problem, but kicked it completely.
Oh yeah, Alice Cooper. In fact, he went to the he went to an institution at that time, and a lot of this that gave inspiration to one of his
album From the Inside.
Yes, exactly. The song "How Do You Go to See Me Now," one of his big ballads there. That was a big hit on the radio. You gotta check out the video for that, by the way. I remember seeing that ages ago. Something to check out. But many of the songs were inspired by his stay at the mental ward. Believe it or not, he also relapsed back in the peak of the started in the 1980s. He had some wine that his wife had sitting around at a party there. He had a little bit some there, and he started drinking once again. He actually ended up in the hospital. Because that's when he decided to go back to Jesus Christ. Because you remember, his father was a minister or a pastor there. He's been a born-again Christian since that. We also got to remember...
And, of course, there's Sid Vicious.
Oh, yeah, the Sex Pistols. He was a massive heroin junkie himself there. Rumor has it that he apparently... do you think he murdered his girlfriend, Nancy Spungen? Because there was a lot of conspiracies saying that there was some sort of drug lords visiting the apartment that they both were staying at. There was a big scuffle, and Sid was too high to remember any details.
Kind of inconvenient.
Yeah, because... And I guess what it is that if you're caught with a dead girlfriend, you're going to be definitely brought up on charges. That's for sure. That's how it was back then. And this is years before forensic, for the video cameras in every room and stuff. This is way back in 1978 when this occurred there. Yeah. That's also
of course, everybody knows the Beatles actually were involved in marijuana and LSD and all of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Did y'all ever watch that Beatles documentary thing?
Which one? There was so many. Anthology?
The long 9-hour one that was on a couple years ago.
You mean Get Back?
It's been about 10 years, but no. Oh, that one.
Yeah, I saw it. It's not really 9 hours.
Well, no.
It's about 6.
Well, look, so like when I guess there was a part where I didn't get to watch it because it was on some platform that I didn't have, but like Apple TV or something for a long time. But there was a part where like they were stuck, as a band and trying to find ideas or something. But then they took a break and John Lennon came back and they wrote something. He finished the song for something, but they were saying John Lennon took a joint break, smoked a J outside, came back, and it was, I guess it was, I don't know, it was one of the major Beatles songs that John Lennon wrote after he smoked the joint, or completed rather. Story on that, but being that Dr. Brown and Arknolia are from the generation that look down upon, smoking cigarettes, smoking joints and stuff. How do y'all feel about cannabis now? Do y'all still feel like it's devil lettuce, it's bad, or you feel like it's so mainstream? It's like just like kind of like alcohol, beer, and stuff.
Well, I will say this: after all the stories I heard about cannabis nowadays, like, excuse me, there. If it's to say that it's best to be doing cannabis than heroin.
Well, even alcohol. Like if you smoked instead of doing alcohol, there would be a lot less car wrecks.
Yeah.
Drunk drivers. Like the drunk thing with alcohol, I just don't understand how. Like, I mean, you can go to concerts and just keep buying, and just go drive and crash and die. I can't believe they allow that. I can't believe they have alcohol that certain limits, like they're like 90% and all that. Like that's dangerous. That's bad. With weed, it's not like that. You can't die.
Well,
I mean, you can go to sleep. You can fall asleep on the wheel on some cannabis maybe, but you know.
I think what it is that when people drink, that inner person that they want to be comes out. And they show that when they go see shows. So someone who is meek, who is kind of like calm, cool, collected, but yet deep down they have this person they want to be, they want to come out there, they want to be this beast, but they got to have that quote-unquote liquid courage, to get that beast out. That's why when we see people get drunk, men or women, that's when they turn into somebody else. That's that liquid courage coming into play. And I think people now.
Have you ever been?
Go ahead.
Have you ever been like drunk before?
Well, actually, you know what? I was buzzed for a while there at a gathering hosted by this lady back in southeast Michigan. Her name is Jessica. She had a thing like a little party at some place that's near the Quinder Road there. I took a bus to get there.
Drunk and you got naked.
No, I did not. No. Actually, I had one of these big long beers, and I figured I'd have a little bit of that there. Had about 2 of them. I started feeling buzzed. A couple of guys, I was talking with one guy, and that I occasionally spoke to a few times. He was there. He got in this car. He said, "Want to come to the store with me?" Sure, I will do it. I got me regular Pepsi, and I sat down, and I drank that, and the buzz went away there, surprisingly. And no, I didn't get behind any wheels because I didn't have a car at the time. Plus, I knew better. Way better there. But going back to the cannabis thing, it fits to say that cannabis now seems like the less and least dangerous drugs, because all we ever know about people smoking that stuff is you get dim-witted and you get hungry as hell. In fact, for what I remember, they often give weed to cancer patients and anorexia patients. For what I understand. Hello, guys.
Here.
All right, I know. I guess. All right, so we got to mention. What about Pigpen guy from the Grateful Dead? I understand. He was a big addict at that time. He did a lot of acid.
YR took off.
I guess they're supposed to be. Yeah, they did, because I guess him and Jacob were supposed to be doing a show together there on Jacob's channel.
Mm-hmm.
Right there.
Let's continue before we have to wrap it up. So go ahead, Mr. Brown. Let's wrap it up.
All right there.
I think it's 7 something.
Wrap it up.
But Wrap it up.
Wait, no, well,
Well,
Wrap it up.
just let him finish. Go ahead, Earl. Go ahead
well,
and finish.
the moral of this story is drugs destroy everything. Destroy lives. They destroyed relationships, whether it's professional or personal. It also destroys your reputation, and it also destroys basically it destroys everything. And if the drugs don't kill you, it's the means of getting the drugs that will eventually. There have been stories of people trying to get drugs and getting killed over a drug deal, getting bad. That's what happened with P. Diddy's father, I remember reading. I mean, like,
That's not
stuff
funny,
like
that's not
cocaine, heroin, and all that shit there. If you're going to get into rock and roll, be on the lookout for shit like that, because there'll be people, pushing that stuff on you. They will.
Yeah, like Prince, if you and me were ever at concerts or anything, and someone tries to come up to us, tries to sell us something, say no. You know what I'm saying? As a stranger, it might be some type of what were y'all talking about earlier? That fentanyl or
Yeah.
never. Obviously, if someone passes you a joint, if somebody passed you like Dr. Brown, if someone passed you a joint, would you take a puff?
No.
No, man, it could be laced with
Nope.
something.
Nope, exactly. The morons up the village people I was living in at that last house in Detroit prior to moving to Texas, they were trying to pass that around me, and others kept saying he doesn't do that. You know that, bud. Come on, man.
You had a village people concert.
See, I'm very,
No,
I'm very street
no, I
smart
call,
when it comes to that because
When I was at a Black
ain't no, I
Sabbath
mean,
con.
YR would tell you, as what I always say, I'm an N word, so I'm very street smart when it comes to drugs and stuff like that because I grew up out here in the streets where they be doing exchanges.
Why? Let me clarify that. When I met the village people, I met the people that were living in the house. These were a bunch of goofballs.
So
Why
were
are
you the
you
Indian or the policeman?
Am I what?
Were you the Indian or the policeman?
No, it's not
Or the
none of that.
construction
That's
worker?
what basically I'm talking about the jackasses at the house that I lived in there. They were similar. I call
I
them
was
that
kidding.
as I know exactly, but these people were a bunch of goofballs no matter what. We had this one guy who did
When I
a hero.
was
Go ahead. Let me finish for a second. Then we had this one jackass who tried to be cool with me and all that stuff. Yeah, I'm into the same rock and roll that you as a child there. I was into the same stuff there. Like, first time you start talking to me about that on your first meeting, I'm gonna turn away from you because, plus the vibes I got from this schmuck was unanimously big there, and I found that there was a good reason why. The guy was doing heroin because of back issues. I was like, couldn't he just see a regular doctor? But then again, the guy was like one of those down on his luck type of guys who probably couldn't afford to see a doctor, let alone have any insurance. So a bag of smack probably did the job 20 times better than any prescription medications. That's another reason why people get into drug addiction. Prescription drugs is way expensive, around the $150 or the $200, and not many people can afford that shit. Especially when you have no insurance to go do most of the coverage.
My name is Prince. Okay, so let's talk about.
Yeah, like I was saying before you left, YR,
When I
I'm
was-
not street smart when it comes to stuff like that.
Let
If you go to a
Ark
concert,
speak,
I would
guys.
know. Trust me, I would know.
Let Ark
Yes.
speak here, but Ark wants to say something here.
way back when I went to a Black Sabbath / Pantera concert, the guy sitting next to me offered me a puff on his weed that he was sitting there puffing, and I'm like, no thank you. But the cool thing about that concert was, like it was mentioned earlier with Motley Crue, girls like to show your tatas.
Yep.
They-
And
Sure,
they had the big
that-
screen
that-
TV because this was in American Airlines Center. So when the girls would do that, the camera would zoom over there.
Yep.
So we got to see it too.
Oh, nice. You know
And
what?
did security tell the guy to
That
leave with
was
the joint? Or
I love Motley Crue because Motley Crue they allow that. They allow the girls to show
You
the
know what's kind of
tatas, you know.
funny? They
hold on a
did.
minute. Hold
They
on a minute,
did.
Brown.
Go ahead.
Brown and Art, quick. Did security tell people to leave when they smoke the joints, or do they let them smoke the joint? Like, there's plenty
Well,
of
it all
people.
depends on the
I
venue.
never saw him do that.
Wow.
Yeah, but at the Ritz and Roseville, if you smoked a joint, you were definitely booted out the place.
Hmm.
It was a lot more. It was a lot more close. A lot more closer than it was a bigger venue.
Mm.
Yeah, that was the American Airlines Center that I saw that concert at, and it was, I didn't see any security.
Yeah, and by the
At all.
way, you may remember there were a couple times on the Guns N' Roses Metallica co-headlining tour around '92. They were doing the exact same thing. They had a crowd zooming in on the girls, showing their boobies and everything.
I love the boobies.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Earl
We're
Brown
in
said,
agreement on that one.
Oh,
That
absolutely.
that was Arknolia. Have you ever heard the Joe Walsh song ILBT?
Yep, and we know what it's about. Boobies. Boobies.
I love
I'm
the
talking
song
about
by
those
Motley Crue, man. They have a song called "Girls, Girls, Girls."
Well, we know that one. That's inspired by all the strip joints that they go into.
Yes.
Exactly. That's an old one. Remember the video and the lyrics are about the same thing. I knew what it's about when it first came out. All right. Is it time to end the show right
Yeah,
now?
it's time to wrap up.
Yeah, it is. So what are we doing tomorrow night?
Let's do
We'll
the.
do-
well,
Can we do the?
we'll
Can we
do-
do the? Can we do the soundtracks from movies?
Let's do
well,
that. Yeah.
actually, we could do that. And next week on Wednesday, we can do soundtracks from TV or TV themes. 'Cause
Mm.
there are a ton
There
of those.
you go. Absolutely. I'm for that
Like,
one.
we
That's
can
for
mix-
sure. So.
We can mix Brown. We can mix the music with the mainstream TV in a way for the show, like a combo. You
Yes,
know.
exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of TV
Well, you could, I
music.
suppose, but there's a ton of TV music, especially if you go back.
Yeah.
What you want to do that tomorrow then?
The movie soundtracks?
Well, that and
Yeah, because
both.
when Ark has his list, the shows are really, really good. When
so
we
wait,
do the
hold
list
on a
shows.
second. I'm being thrown off a guard. Are we doing movie soundtracks or music soundtrack? I mean, movie soundtracks or TV soundtracks?
Let's split them.
Hmm.
Let's split them.
All right.
Yes.
Movies tomorrow night, and TV themes Wednesday.
Okay. Music, movie soundtracks tomorrow night. You're on, definitely. In fact, I'll start making thumbnails right now for the show there. All right. The moral of the story, people, is simply stay clean, stay strong, stay focused, and also stay straight.
And stay positive.
There you
Brown,
go. Yeah.
Lifestyle to go.
Brown, I
Straight
do
edge lifestyle to
recommend.
go.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I do recommend if
And
anyone,
stay.
if anyone's cleaning or if anyone's doing anything, watch the whole entire Ace Frehley concert.
Mm-hmm.
Try to watch the whole thing or listen to the whole thing,
Yes.
because one song, you can't judge a concert or a group or an artist off of one song. I don't
Yeah.
think. If you watch the whole thing, I think there's spots where it's a little cringe, but
Oh, and Earl, that's what I meant to ask you. You know, because you're familiar with the Texas area.
Mm-hmm.
You know where I can find some nice cowboy black snakeskin boots?
Well, there's a
looking for
boot. Well,
some
there's a
leftovers.
boot. Well, there's a boot place located. I forgot the name of it, but it's in the Old Town Spring area, by the Woodlands. It's by the Spring area. It's by
I'd have to look to see, but there
'Cause
used
I'm
to
looking
be
for
a
some leather
place.
boots, man.
in
I want some leather
Arlington.
cowboy boots, man. I want
would you
some.
rather wear that? Would you rather wear boots? You would rather wear that than what are those other boots, guys? Timberlands.
which one?
Uh,
Well, Timberlands are
I
mostly.
got me plenty of pairs of Timberlands and polos. I want some actual leather
Cowboy boots.
snakeskin black boots, man.
Wow.
They look awesome.
Yes,
They look awesome.
exactly. They always looked awesome, no matter what.
The reason why I
I don't
need them
remember the
because I
name
have
of the
these
place.
leather pants I want to wear them with.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a place in Arlington, Texas, that used to sell cowboy gear.
Mm.
Big place.
Definitely look at Google
And I'm
it,
trying to
Prince.
remember exactly where it was.
Yeah. Look, Google it,
I think
Prince.
it was just off
Yes.
360, but I could be wrong.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think it was called Western Wear or something like that. I don't remember.
Who knows? Definitely look it up
And
on
this is
Google.
years ago, too.
I will. I will.
Definitely there. Boots.
But this is a big store.
Interesting.
I'm
There.
going to get it so I can wear it in the wintertime because I know Texas barely has wintertime, so I probably won't be able to wear them, but I'll definitely get it just for the wintertime
Yeah.
as we approach soon.
It'll be a few months
summer
Yeah,
from
of course,
now.
it was 105 an hour ago.
Yeah, the summer's getting ready to end soon.
Hope so. It was 105 an hour ago.
It's been
It
rainy.
was.
It's kind of the rainy season over here. In fact, it rained earlier today.
The sun scared the rain off around here.
Wow. Yeah, Texas hot
It's hit
weather is very hot.
108. Well, it's hit 108 several days in a row now or more.
Yeah. I know last week when I took a walk around the area, I forgot to put suntan lotion on them. The parts of my neck were red as heck, and it was my forearms.
Jeez. Oh.
You know, yeah. And they making that mistake again. Anyways, it's time to end the show.
Yeah.
The bottom line, folks, stay focused, stay positive, stay strong, and stay clean. We don't need any
Most
more
important-
drug-related deaths. You may remember the one I told YR and ARC, SC, and a couple other people about that woman back in Michigan who died running from the
Right.
running from that Maya store, getting hit by a car because she was stealing for drug money. Horrible story there. Horrible way to go. But that's the perils you go to preserve your addiction. So, I mentioned in a video not too long ago about the same details, along with that one woman at the 7-Eleven near us. Gotta check that out during those stories there. Alright, for Prince Idol, for Arknolia, and for the mighty YR, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday evening, and we'll see you tomorrow night for Movie Madness, looking at soundtracks from the great movies out there. You take care,
This has
everybody.
been Music Maniacs,
Mhm.
and we'll see you tomorrow night for movie and Music Maniac soundtracks.
All right. You mean Movie Madness movie soundtracks?
Yes, sir.
All
That's
right.
what I mean.
We'll see you then. We'll see you
Something
tomorrow.
like that anyway.
Yes. And on the
Yes.
next Wednesday, we'll take a look